welcome back to Elderbrain's channel, where we play Torrents of the Spellhoarder with April, Joe, John, and Tommy. Please introduce your characters, and let's continue with the story.
Yeah, let's go. Hello, everybody. I am April, and I am playing Mayra Deepscar of the Azure Abyss. She is a Triton Paladin, Oath of the Open Sea.
Open Sea. My name is Joe, and I am playing Rax. And Rax is a Worm Slayer Ranger, isn't he?
In it. Oops, and John is off, and that's
John.
Oh no, we lost
the
John.
curse of the
John's
Azure
out of here.
bonds. John.
He's exploring the Open Sea.
Hey, brother.
My echo called. I had to answer real quick.
What a comeback.
So good.
Great.
Yeah, I'm John.
That's
I'm
perfect.
playing Co, the Echo Knight, who every once in a while gets called away, and he just has to pop back in. It's fine. It's normal.
You gotta answer when you get cold. Tommy?
Mm-hmm.
Hi everyone, Tommy here. I'm playing Ferromalars, the young bronze dragon. Also ranger.
Also ranger. Also fan of justice.
Probably a better ranger.
Well, don't compare the rangers.
Natural ranger.
Let's start today. We are 1,400 feet underwater. Deep in Starhaven, the secret hideout and base of the Knights of Arvenshi. These knights are relentless, giant seahorse riding, trident wielding warriors who has been training all their lives, very, very long lives, because they're elves, of course, to protect their city, Arvenshi, and they had to escape. As much as you know about their history, it involves that they had to escape their city, which was just recently, some 100 years ago, overtaken by Morgar, the arch necromancer Kraken. Now, these knights have been in hiding ever since, and they've been training, relentlessly training, endlessly, and helping their kin from the outside, from outside of the city, to helping them in whatever way they could. They are too few to assault the city themselves. They are numerous. I mean, they are a few dozen, but they have not attacked Morgar and its minions ever since. They feel like the last bastion of hope for those stuck inside. And you've found one of their kin dead on the Flame Drake on the island of Kirikou, and with the divine powers bestowed upon Mayra, she raised and returned the soul of this deep sea elven knight into its physical form and its body, and raised him from the dead, and eventually you all decided to come. He was very eager to invite you to meet his master, but you also, of course, been drawn to the possibility of meeting these reclusive deep sea elves, who, of course, Mayra has heard a lot about during even their young years, just as legends of the city. Now, you have arrived to their fortress, which again is built on a gigantic living starfish. It's composed of 6 install or building sections, building blocks, small sections connected through these CV tunnels. And one of these is when you've been greeted by knights on giant seahorses, and you've been taken into the fort. Of course, they recognize their kin, and of course, this showed them that you are in a friendly relationship with him and with probably their group and towards them in general. So you've been invited in, and you've been taken to a very strange room which is filled with air. And is bless you, is also furnished like as if it was, a room on the surface. You feel very at home. Of course, the smell of seaweed and water and the dampness. Of course, it's not like anything else you've seen before. Also, the wood, has probably swollen here and there because it takes so much, moisture in. But still, it looks like something from the surface. It's equipped with beds and tables and this and that. And they all gather. And where we left off was that Dorantil Balental, who is the first trident and the master of these knights, very smiley on this image, probably taken after he liberated Arbanshee. They are in the future. Yeah, he's not this smiley at the moment, but he walks into this room with a host of his knights, and in the background you see this half-orc woman with two short spears stuck in her in her what is that, belt, walking in on the very back of the group, and they greet you. And where we left off was that he was inquiring about the nature of your visit and who you people were, and this is where I will read his quote in a second. He says, as he meets you, he says, "What unfortunate tides brought you to the last remaining bastion of our people? We are the ones who keep Arvanshee's memory intact and haste the day when our kin can finally be free of the vile Kraken's dominion. We are the last knights of Arvanshee. Why have you come to Starhaven, and what can you do to aid our cause?"
All right. I think Mayra would step forward and, bow her head in, acknowledgement of his rank and status, and say,
Of course, he introduces himself. "I'm Dorantil Balental, first trident of the Knights of Arvanshee."
"I am Mayra Deepscar of the Azure Abyss. We found Ayalish of the Knights and revived him, and he made us aware of your presence, and we have returned him to you. We also," and I think at that point she kind of maybe darts a little bit of a look toward Rax and Co. Almost like just a quick glance. "The threat of Morgar that has befallen Arvanshee rises to the surface as well. And such an abominable threat cannot continue to soil the majesty of the sea."
All of the deep sea elves nod and in acknowledgement of what you speak. "Exactly. Yes. Yes."
"So, to reclaim the depths and your kingdom, and to liberate those who have been oppressed. Sorry, Ko's been really busy all
Yeah.
day. He's in and out. There's been
Echoing.
Phasing in, echoing. Echo.
I'm trying to get him back. As soon as he's back online, continue, and when he's back online, I will drop him in.
All right. You want me to keep going now, or you want me to?
I think we should, because
Okay.
he's not back, so I don't know. Maybe he's an internet problem.
All right.
Rex is just nodding along this whole time and like punctuating things, like when she's like, and then we're gonna liberate this. He's like,
Yeah. So to liberate and to bring freedom back to the waves.
yes.
Well, they nod and they get very, very enthusiastic about your speech, and Dorothy Balantas says, yes, this is exactly what needs to be done. Only us, those from the deep, understand the necessity of freeing our people. But I'm happy, and looks at the other three, I'm happy your kin is involved with this holy paladin of the sea. Also, what's the name again? Ashley? Whew, I should know my NPC names. Ailish?
Bill. Name's Bill.
Yeah.
Billy Eilish.
April, what was the name you had written down?
And he's the bad guy.
I have it written phonetically
Please.
as I heard it, which is Ayalish.
Ayalish. So Ayalish steps forward and says, it's a work of fate that these heroes have found me and revived me from my dead. Oh, the knights look at each other. They did. Oh, they did, says the first rider. Yes. The holy blessings of the Sea Mother channeled through the paladin, and Mera's touch revived me from the dead. I have returned to bring them here, and they are here to help us liberate our city. Are you? Or are you not? Ayalish looks at you, like all of the Deep Seals look at you. Let them decide after they have feasted with us. After they have heard what we have to tell them, says Dorante Barata. Please, don't make a choice of such importance too hastily. We would like to invite you to a feast. Please join us. This is our tradition. This is something that I hope and I guess you also need now. So let's sit together and let's feast and let's talk. We have a lot to tell, and I think you also have a lot to tell us. And by the end, when the last pieces of our meal are gone, we shall decide what to do next. Master, says Ayalish, I have found a piece of the crystal that we've been informed has been in the possession of the sea giants. I've tracked them to the island of Kiraku, and eventually I have retreated here. So he shows the piece, the puzzle piece. I'm going to drop it here. I'm going to flood the screen with information now. Tommy, do you have access as a GM, co-GM to all these? Because then you can help me save some time. Should not waste by looking through the props that I can't find. Oh, here you go. No. Here you go. Bing bong. Where should I put it? I will just make it smaller and put it somewhere here.
Whispering over to Ko. We're proper heroes now, aren't we?
Yes. And as proper heroes, we must eat mildly of the feast, correct?
I do not disagree with you, my friend.
Excellent.
And perhaps I'll have some sea urchins, eh?
I hope that they may be a delicacy. We'll have to wait and see.
they all move out to this dining area outside the mess hall, and you get seated. Once everybody gathers and finds a place, many of the knights just stand around. Of course, there's not enough space there not enough seats there to seat everyone, but they stand around and as a first, Dorentil Balental, before sitting, as he stands, he says, "I would like to introduce to you Kigamon Falk. She's a ranger of the deep seas, one from the surface who dives with us." And he bows. "She is a ranger who can speak to Star Haven, the star that carries our fort. She's the one directing it where we need to go. She's the one who is the caretaker of the giant starfish, and one of our contacts to the surface." She nods. She looks pretty, like this rough girl. She nods and says, "Hello to everyone. Let's get seated." Oh,
when she says that about the starfish and kind of controlling it is whispering over to Mayra, "Are you telling me this thing's alive?"
It seems to be, yes.
Okay, let's consider a few circumstances. One of them is language. So they speak. I think they speak common. Can you look up their stat block? I think they speak common.
Common, I think, Dorentil definitely, but...
Yes. Well, he does the speaking. Maybe Ayalish, maybe he speaks sub, but he speaks Deep Sea Alish for sure.
They speak uncommon.
Uncommon.
They speak common.
Yeah, so they speak in common. Now the second thing is speaking underwater, so that you have water breathing, which let's consider it
Oh, we're submerged? I thought we were in an air bubble. That's
an air bubble on the top, the yellow lit area, but now you move to the first area, which I don't think you move there. So they you get seated in the air bubble. Okay, that's maybe more convenient for everyone. So they bring in. Dorentil Balental introduces Kigo Monfalk, and then they bring in a beautiful big conch horn that they place at the middle of the table. I'm going to show you. Tommy, can you please?
I don't have access to your account where all this stuff is.
Oh, okay. That's sad. That's why I have to do everything myself. Can you pull it in? Because I might have not pulled this one in.
I can try.
Pull it in, please, and put it in there. Okay. So this is a big conch horn, and Dorentil Balental says the following. Now, according to our traditions, our guests will feast, and we will eat our meager food, which will make us remember the hardships of our fellow kin. We will not eat anything else except, but what they eat in the city of Arvenshi until they are liberated. So they bring in some sea urchins and sea cucumber and some kelp or some seaweed stuff, and place it in a bowl in front of everyone. Some this and that, mostly plants and fish.
I uploaded it.
Thank you. And can you drop it?
I did.
You did? Oh, it just didn't refresh. Oh, there you go. And then they bring in this conch horn. What is this?
Nautilus.
A nautilus. And Dorentil Balental raises it above the table and then all kinds of food stuff just pour out of it, like cheese and a complete roasted chicken and vegetables and Yorkshire pudding and all kinds of food, which just piles up on the table. And he says, "This is a feast of heroes. Please enjoy it, and please be nourished by its blessing, nutritious content."
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Looks delicious.
So it smells delicious, and when you try it, it tastes delicious. Actually, there are complete bottles of wine rolling out of it, like all kinds of exquisite, most wonderfully prepared meals magically just roll out of it, like fresh bread, but it's soft and it's warm and it's the best thing you ever ate. So you start.
So much better than all them coconuts we was eating on that island.
Oh yeah.
And the mangoes. Oh, the mangoes.
I agree. Oh, so many mangoes and the yams.
Yeah.
You fellas in the trade for yams, as we got a bag full of them. And all mind-altering yams. I'll take one of the merches for myself for later, if you know what I mean.
So while you are, gathering the food in front of you in these plates that you've been given, and these mugs or bottles, or I'm sorry, glasses that you've been given, while you do that, Ashley hands over this crystal to Dorian Clebantal, and he looks at it and says, "The gullet." Looks around to the others. It must mean the location to the north. Yes, master, it's probably. That's what it is, probably. The gullet. Okay. You see, it bears a sign of Arvenshire. Yes, master. You see. Okay, well, actually, they discussed this in Deep Sea Elvish, but you can. No, actually, he translates. I mean, he says that this text around this hole says the gullet, which is a location to the northeast on the Isles of Santos. And this yellow orange marking in the middle is part of Arvenshire's sigil. For now, that's all what we can make out of it. We don't know what this is, and we don't know how to use it.
Is it the only fragment you possess?
Yes, we see it's a fragment, but this is the only one we have. We've heard from other sea-dwelling creatures that the sea giants, acquired a piece from we don't know where. Most curious item. Could you tell us if it's magical or not? And looks at Mayra. Yeah.
Okay, that was to us. Well, I definitely can. I guess cast detect magic.
It's not magical.
No, there's no magic in it.
Very interesting. Piece of relic. Okay, I'm just checking one thing here.
Well, if the food is being plated on plates, then I guess Lars just licks up a plate.
Just eats the whole plate.
Yeah, just like that.
More, please.
Oh, there's a lot.
Is
What do you
the
want?
food unlimited?
There's enough for
Sword.
12 creatures, right? So you eat up like 2.
What? Yeah. What do you want, Lars? I'll get it for you.
The fish. The roast fish.
That'll hold you for a second. Anything you need, let me know.
Okay, so
We're going to get kicked out of this buffet.
as you eat,
Time to go.
You've been here 4 hours.
before we go into the discussions, I would like to describe that as you eat this food, it tastes extremely fresh and nutritious and reinvigorating.
So
you,
fresh.
You feel all of your, you feel your body, like refreshed, invigorated by this food, and you are cured of all diseases, poison that might have affected you, and you lose all your concerns for trouble. Basically, your mind gets at an ease as you eat. You become immune to being frightened.
Mayra, you should bring people back from the dead more often. This is great.
Even your hit point maximum increases for a certain time. But let's skip that. We get back to that if needed.
Tingling. My legs are tingling.
Very nice. That's how you know you've had just the right amount. Now you can put some more stuff on top of it.
All right. So,
did we return the shell to them, or
no, you haven't.
We still have that.
You didn't speak of it. No, you have it on you.
No, we did. We did mention it to him because I have a note that he responded, or I have a note about.
Okay, so I Elish just stands next to the table because they are standing by the wall and listening to your discussions. Of course, Dorian Volanta sits with you, but they are eating, like standing, some of them sitting with you, not being too formal about it, but he stands up and says, Master, first trident, these heroes have an other most precarious, have you said this in English? Most peculiar item in their possession, also in connection with Arvenshi. Oh, they do. You do, he says. Please, would you like to present it, or would you like to keep this to yourselves?
No, of course.
Oh.
Will, if it is rightfully belongs to the sea elves and a relic of your people. I think Rex.
Mm-hmm. What's that? What happened?
The relic that.
What about it?
You have that, correct?
Oh, the seashell.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I do.
Okay, they wait patiently.
Oh, do you want me to get? Oh, I'm supposed to. Oh, right. Take it out. Look for it, and take. I'll keep it safe in my hat. Take it out of my cap. Hand it over to Mayra. Polish it up. They'll be like, and then hand it to her.
And
there you
bring it to the first trident.
Okay, so he stands and holds it in two hands. Of course, the pearls and the skulls and the writing on it all shimmer with energy. Obviously, it has magical properties. As soon as he sees it, and as soon as all of them see it, they recognize it somehow, and or something of it, and they all start whispering to each other. And Dorian Tibanta says, "This is from the tomb of Arvenshi. This is a relic of Arvenshi's personal belongings. Did you decipher the writing on it?"
Let me see. Did we decipher the writing?
You did, yes.
Okay. I probably have that written in my notes somewhere. Of what it said. The short answer is yes, we deciphered the writing.
Okay. The writing.
The orb of my ascension.
The orb of my ascension is, and he says, this is most probably, this can be from anywhere else but the tomb of Arvenshi. Somebody broke into the tomb of our greatest legendary master and hero. How did you get into possession of this? Where did you find this item?
So, the
growls.
I'll paint the scene for you. There was a fella that had it on him. We was on a boat, and all of a sudden there was a murder. And then there was one of them shape-changing folk, but she was a cook, and she was getting it on with the priest. And then we was like, whoa, that's who did it. And then all of a sudden, Morgar came up, attacked everybody, and that shell, one of the fellas had it, and it was the shape-changing fella. No, wait, back up. No, there was a fella who was like, oh, look at me, I've done it. And he had that shell, and then he died. But then we got the shell and escaped to the island of the gorillas, where we met your boy, who was dead on a boat, and brought him back. And that's how we got here, and that's the story of the shell.
Okay, they look a bit confused.
Mayra looks a bit confused.
Okay, we have time, Sister Antidanta. I thank you for your explanation. But we need to discuss this in more detail. Every single piece of information might be of great importance. So now, come again. Please repeat. Who had the shell relic on the ship that you?
So there was this cook.
There was a merchant by the name of Sorleon Finanza. He had, I believe the thief sold this relic to the merchant, and he thought he had a buyer in Lord Cornelius on the islands of Xanthros.
They look at each other. Lord Cornelis, you mean?
Yes.
Yes, Cornelis.
Lord Cornelis is a good friend of mine, he says. If he wanted to buy this relic from this merchant you mentioned, then there must have been a good reason to it. Now, are you sure there was a thief who sold it? Did the merchant mention this to you, or are you filling the empty parts of the story with possibilities? You are not certain.
It's the truth.
I've also left out a tremendous amount of details because I don't remember details well, but I'll leave it to my amazing companions to fill in the gaps, in between the cook and the thief and the merchant, which is going to be the name of the book once we put it all together.
They don't laugh,
But
I do. That will be
So-
a most entertaining, most informative piece of info book ever written.
So the merchant was the one who had this relic. However, the Lord Necra was the murderer. He murdered Sorleon and took the relic from him and revealed that Morgar had been seeking it. And he was returning it to Morgar. Until we disposed of him and recovered the relic.
This is
The fella, not Morgar.
This is the most important part of your story, I think. Morgar is seeking.
It's a good
his
thing I wrote it down
relic.
then.
Okay.
Before returning to the depths, Morgar did mention that it already possesses the information on the shell.
That is most unfortunate. What could it mean? The ascension. What was that? The orb of my. The orb of my ascension is. How could it end? We can only find out if we enter the tomb of Arvenshi. But our kin is not allowed. It's forbidden. It's a sacred resting place where we can't set foot in. We are not allowed to enter. You must return this shell relic to the tomb of Arvenshi, and you must learn the secrets from the other part of this clamshell, which probably Morgar seeks as well. They look at each other and they all fall silent. Now, I have a long story to tell you. But before I do, before I reveal and put all of this into perspective and history of our people, I want to ask you about yourselves. Who are you? Where do you come from? What your history is? I would like to learn as much as you are revealing to us. Please, have some more of the feast.
Goes ahead and gets another load of fish ready for Lars. You'll like on top of it. It's good.
So, of course, there's a lot to tell
Thank you.
for each of you. You can shorten it down, or you can just respond anyway. But he turns to Mayor first and says, "It would be my privilege and my warrior's privilege to hear your story from the beginning to this moment. And of course, we have time to listen."
Well, it is my honor and your privilege to hear of my deeds and for me to share my exploits and what I have done in the service of Kylie, she who is found in every night.
Oof. She's not that cool.
And just like that,
Ooh.
Kylie grabbed her up
And Tommy.
Yeah.
and grabbed up Lars. It's just the three of
It's
us.
Morgar! What is happening here?
Sorry, sometimes when you invoke her name, she gets real excited. She wants to hear.
She gets
Yeah.
pissed.
So let's start again. Yes.
And then at that point, I think everybody else, Mayra goes into her, a lot of the similar stories and explanations that when we first met Gix and we did, so she kind of recounts just a lot of that, or a little bit of, where she comes from in the Azure Abyss. And, I come from a long family devoted to the protection of my people in the seas. And, from the moment I earned my name and my right of the first trench, I have devoted myself to the safety of those seas and the freedom of the waves, and swore my oath. And and there's a fun story about this trident I can share with you.
I would like to add that Dorian Theobontal and all of the CLs listen. He asks, more detail. Yes, please tell about the trident. He asks about your father, your mother, your ancestors, how you live as
Third cousin.
When you come to the Sahuagin War, where you've been, all 3 or 4 of you have been involved with, he gets really into detail. He tells you how long their people, and you know that the Deep Sea Owls and the Sea Owls have been in war with the Sahuagin, and he also says that we will get to discuss this because again, this is why you got on the sea at first, and who these Santarosian nobles are that have been inviting you, what the Santarosians, what kind of conflict they have with the current rise of the Sahuagin and all that. But he doesn't want to interrupt. He listens very carefully and asks a lot. Then he moves to Rex, and he says, "Oh, well," he thanks you, and Mara, Lady Mara, I'm really happy I could learn about your background, and now I would like to ask you, Rex, and please tell me about your ancestors. Please tell me about your history, your upbringing, and your philosophy in life."
Right. Go ahead and scoot back from the table and be like, sorry about that. Stand up and brush myself off. Well, I am the Worm Slayer, the Red Taker, and the Heartbreaker. My name is Rex. You might have heard of me. I've taken out lots of dragons. that's what I do. A bit of a dragon hunter, a bit of a famous dragon hunter. I do have about 5 copies of my book left that I can sign for you. You can read all about all the stuff I've done in there. Saved tons of people, saved lots of lives, lots of damsels, quite a few damsels if you ask me. And I met these wonderful people. I have a ton of illegitimate children out there somewhere, and we've done a lot of good. And one day I'm going to bring all my illegitimate kids back to my castle that I don't have yet, but that I will definitely have at the end of all this, because I'm going to get paid quite a bit, which I do expect to happen, and we'll have a big dinner and I'll be the greatest dad in the land. And these are my friends and they're heroes, and we've done some really cool stuff, and we're going to do cool stuff for you and all that. So cheers to all of you, and thanks a bunch for all this food.
Okay, they raise a glass, and then Dorian Theobald tries to ask you about the details, which you either go into or not, based on Mary's...
Wait, what you want to know about?
Oh, please, do tell me about the place where you're from, how you grew up as a child, what you have done to... What drove you to fighting dragons? Who was your teacher?
Right,
And all that.
well...
I'm really
Well,
interested.
listen. I don't... What's your name?
My name, again, is First Trident Dorian Theobald.
Can I call you First Trident?
Yes, please.
Well, First Trident, I don't know a lot about sea elves, and it seems like a great mystery to me. And the more I get to know you, that mystery sort of unfolds, doesn't it? And then all of a sudden we're very just sort of familiar. I like that mystery, and I'm going to leave a bit of a mystery for you. I grew up on the streets, I pulled myself up, I went and did some good stuff, real hero work, saved a bunch of folks and all that. And that's my calling, and that's my story. And you can read about it in my book. And plop one of the books right down on the table. That's all in there. That's me.
He stands up and bows and says, "Thank you. I will definitely read this book over the coming years." Of course, I need to add, and it might show through the image as well. The images, they look pretty young. You know, they are probably 150 plus, but still they look very, very young. And he says, "In the coming decades, I will find time to read this book. Thank you so much."
It's my pleasure. There's a bunch of pictures in there too, if you don't like the words.
Oh, I love the words. And I would love to learn more about you. And Tommy's gone. What's happening today? So he turns to Ko. I will put Tommy back as soon as he pops back. He turns to Ko and says, "Please introduce yourself, and please let us know about your background."
I think Ko's got a script of basically the generalities, not giving away everything, but, of a kingdom of turtles that rule well, and that he's connected and looking to expand trade and the power of that kingdom, and part of just journeying and getting to know this is an opportunity for the whole and to do good in the world, and let his name be known as a great warrior. Also the ability to study under other great warriors and learn their techniques, and would definitely ask if we could spar later. That would be great. I don't know our time frames. And he would show the echo ability as a thing of prestige.
Whoa! Wow!
All right. So cool. I'll tell you cool stuff.
It's very handy.
As you go through this, Dorian, and when you finish, Dorian Theobald bows and says, "I have not known that we have nobility within our humble fort, and I have heard of the great deeds of your father.
Oh.
I don't know him too well, but his heroic deeds have reached us as well, and I am honored to welcome you in our home, good prince."
Thank you kindly. I look forward to making my reputation because of his upbringing grander than his, but I know it is a legacy that will take time, and looking forward to the time.
He bows and says, I would be honored to spar with you, and we would be honored to learn your techniques, which are probably very different from ours. We will,
Indeed, I would gladly teach, depending on time.
we will do this. We will do this, and we will be delighted to join you in a sparring session. And now he turns to Feromalars and says, Good dragon, I am curious about your lineage and bloodline. I would like to learn more from you as well. Of you as well.
Yeah, me
Please,
too.
Please.
Lars bows his head, stands up, and bows low. Says, My name is Feromalars, son of Kralixus, and grandson of Sraimizdirjan.
Okay, when he says Sarmi Durjan, he looks up at him and says, Oh, I have not realized. And he bows. The Ancient One is slumbering, I heard.
Do you know where she lairs?
I have no knowledge of that. I am sorry. But we are honored to have... What's the name again? Tommy, what's the name again?
Sraimizdirjan.
Sraimi. I named these dragons, my fault. Sraimizdirjan. We are honored to have the grandson of Sraimizdirjan amidst our humble kin.
I have been searching for my grandmother for long decades.
We heard she's been gone to slumber. One of the only ancient dragons of the region.
Oh, we'll help you find her.
Okay.
We'll help you. We'll help you find your grandmommy.
Now. Yeah.
If you hear news of her,
Excuse me.
you certainly must let me know.
Of course we will. And we will ask all of our contacts if this is of great importance to you. Now please, continue with the Sahuagin tale you've been telling.
So, yeah, Lars goes into detail about hunting with the elves of the mainland, where he grew up, actually. And then basically wandering, so kind of showing a philosophy, wanderlust, and looking for his heritage, his grandmother and grandfather, of whom little is known, but his journey led him towards the Kalhe Sea, and eventually into the grasp of the Black Dragon and Shawagin slaves, and then being rescued by this illustrious company.
Rex, actually.
Rex, actually, and
then you bend it up.
Stressing justice and a just cause as very important. So
Your cause seems to be just, and I can only speak for myself, but I will seek whatever I can to help your cause.
He stands up again and says, All your stories have proven to me that you are of good heart and that our cause is in good hands if you decide to help us. We have a long history to tell you. Please allow me to sum it up briefly and to present it to you. This could put everything that you have learned until now in perspective, and let's decide after you've heard all of this. In the distant past, long before the age of the Dark Celestials, our thriving civilization inhabited the depths of the Kalhe Sea, consisting of deep sea elves and merfolk. Our kin was living underwater while the Kalhe Drow were living on the land. and torturing devils under their will. We kept a distance from our cousins, and our society faced a cataclysmic upheaval following the fall of Santaros. Our plight was further compounded by relentless military assaults orchestrated by polymorph dark devas who led Suhugin armies. Driven into retreat, we sought refuge within the abysmal rift, a hidden deep-sea trench beyond the reach of the Dark Celestials. Guiding our exodus was Arvenshi, a hierophant of the Wondermaker and an immensely powerful archmage. To safeguard our people for eternity, Arvenshi willingly embraced undeath, becoming a lich through the community's sacrifices. Within the depths of the trench, we constructed a city bearing the name of our immortal leader, preparing for a final stand against the encroaching Suhugin armies and the Dark Celestials. When our enemies finally discovered Arvenshi, when our enemies finally discovered Arvenshi, they were met with staunch resistance. Countless invaders fell victim to Arvenshi's potent magic, while the combined might of the elves and merfolk repelled the attacks once and for all. Another 1,000 years flowed by over the waters until one day unnatural lightning storms gathered in the south. They heralded the coming of Morgar. The Kraken slew the giant sea turtle Gulantraxio, who guarded the trench, and raised him as an undead servant. It then descended upon Arvenshi with hordes of undead vessels. We waged an epic battle as the two magic wielders fought a battle of spells. Arvenshi drew on the power of a powerful spell and sealed Morgar in a large Casseterine gemstone. Moments later, Arvenshi succumbed to Morgar's spells, and his remains floated to the bottom of the sea. Left without our leader, but not broken by the Kraken's assault, we rebuilt the city in the spirit of our former leader, and sealed the gem containing Morgar in caverns under the seabed. As the centuries wore on, we honored the memory of our former leader and guarded the wide sea against harm. The waters were tranquil, and the great force of evil that was Morgar slumbered in its gemstone prison. That is, until over 1,000-year imprisonment, when Morgar burst forth from the gem, driven by a mad rage. Morgar rose out of its underground prison and dealt death to our city's inhabitants, only to raise them as undead against our living kin. Besides a contingent of knights in the city's service, my own unit, few escaped the carnage. Arvenshi fell and became Morgar's lair, where it kept the living as souls for its necromancies and hordes of undead to do his bidding. This is where we are at now.
Well, that is significant.
Our people, the very few that are still living in the city of Arvenshi, are nothing more than experimental assets to Morgar, a flock of flesh, I would say, for the taking, and to fuel his necromantic practices. Now we learn that he is seeking this relic from the tomb of Arvenshi. It's probably less its magical properties than the information it contains. Have you learned what magical properties this item has?
Yes. It can be used to adapt to the aquatic environment, providing the user gills, webbing, and allowing them to breathe underwater. But that is all we know that it possesses in terms of magic.
There must be a reason why he imbued this magic item with such properties. Now, maybe, probably, it's very important for you to know that we are in constant contact with our kin in Arvenshi through one of our spies. We know the layout of the city. We have actually formulated a plan ourselves. Whenever you feel like aiding us, if we would ever march into death or victory, and he stands, all of his men straighten themselves. If we ever survive and Morgar perishes, we would be forever in your debts, and we would offer our lances, our might, and our giant seahorses to aid you in the battle against the Suhurgin, our common enemies, and to help you achieve what the Santarosians are asking you to achieve. And he bows. It's time for you to decide what you do. You can stay here as long as you want. Please be our guests, and please make a wise choice. Also, have some more grapes.
I have questions. Pointing to the fragment, the black crystal, this sigil that this fragment is a part of, was that Morgar's prison?
No.
What is the sigil?
You mean the orange part? The orange part is part of Arvenshi's sigil. The blue writing around the hole says the gullet. The gullet is a... Do you have a map of the Kalhesi on you? Yes, you do.
Yeah, we do. We've got a map.
Okay, so you stretch out the map. I will show you. I will change the scene to the map so I can show you this. The car AC. It's loading. Yep, thank you. So the gullet is this region here. He shows on the map. It's where Clan Yestriel resides. The gullet. This is all I can help. This has nothing to do with the prison of Morgar, which actually he was not aware. He's not aware. So he says, which I have no information where it was hidden back in the days by Arvenshi.
Right. So you were searching for this fragment for some reason. What was the reason that you were searching for?
Our friends within the sea, some merfolk, and also confirmed by some other intelligent sea-dwelling creatures, have told us that they've seen the giants wield a fragment that bears the sigil of Arvenshi. That was all we knew. So I sent Aishli to recover it. Which he did. Aishli bows, Dorenfield bows to him back to him.
And what were the giants doing with it?
They've considered it treasure, I guess.
Oh. So basically you heard that the sea giants were in possession of something that bore the sigil of Arvenshi, and you did not want them to have it, so you asked to retrieve.
Yes.
Understood. All right. The tomb. Where's the tomb located?
The tomb is nearby. It's a giant shell. closed off by doors that were closed when Arvenshi was entombed, and doors, gates that we thought would never need to be opened again. Lately, recently, I'm sorry. My man has reported that they've heard strange wailing from the shell. We are visiting this sacred place all the time to see if it's okay and to see over it. But lately they've heard wailing as if it was disturbed in a way. They didn't draw near, too near, and of course we never entered because that's something we're not allowed to do.
So I don't want to assume the prevalence of, so this is April asking, I don't want to assume prevalence of knowledge. Would Mayra have, or anybody have understanding of liches and I always
That's a religion check.
Okay. Gotcha.
Goes
I
in
do
on
know that some liches have stitches.
Stitches get stitches.
Nature content there.
Alrighty.
Oh, nice.
What's
and
that?
26 total for religion.
Ooh la la. Alright, so you are so familiar with liches. Cool.
Oh, good. So nobody else.
My aunt was a lich.
Ko knew a
Secrets
lich.
don't know about
Ko knows a lich.
Ko knows a lich by heart.
yeah, that shell you want. It's not that I shed it; it's that I stole someone else's and put it on.
Right.
No, Ko has heard a turtle story all over his young ages about a lich turtle. Someone who did something very important, and you know that these are mostly. But in this story that you heard, this turtle didn't want to die, so it had an egg, a solidified crystal egg that it used as the source of its power. And whenever he confronted the turtle heroes and died, it went back into this egg and just rejuvenated, reappeared within a couple of days, I think. You can narrow that down. And that this, of course, this is an undead. These undead are usually powerful spellcasters. In your story, the turtle lich was a powerful wizard who basically used its power to escape death, turned into a lich, used this solidified egg, his own egg, whatever egg, as a base for his powers, and that their touch is paralyzing, all of that. Now, with 26, you have heard that some of these old granny turtles who told you this story told you that there are some liches. I mean, liches are not necessarily evil, especially for some reason the elves, the sea elves, they told you, have liches, and this is probably where they mentioned Arvenshi without them knowing it was Arvenshi, have liches who prolong their lives, actually make themselves immortal for the sake of the community in this form. All of the stories you heard, Arvenshi is probably not an evil lich, you know, he's probably one of those good liches that the story is about. So Ko presents this story about liches.
My sister knows much about the magic ways, and she delighted in knowing every nook and cranny of things. I'm grateful for her studies.
So it could be possible then that if magics were put upon the tomb that keep others out, it also keeps in. And Arvenshi has been reborn. is back.
It was rejuvenated from the egg.
Yeah, when you're talking about undeath,
What I know, Dorian Tribunta says, I know two major facts about Arvensh's magical properties. Besides him being a hierophant, powerful cleric of the Wondermaker, which is the god of magic, and also a powerful wizard. In these historic events, some of them which I have not witnessed myself, and some of which I have witnessed with my own eyes, and my brothers and sisters did as well. Two things that are very important. One is that when Arvenshi died, before Arvenshi died, and when Arvenshi died, he crumbled into dust, basically. His bones remained only sinking to the bottom of the sea. Now, I was told by our wise sages that this was only possible if his phylactery was destroyed. And our people assumed that Morgar somehow had access to his phylactery and destroyed it. Otherwise, he would have returned and saved us and continued to rule. Actually, we didn't need saving because he imprisoned with his last spell before crumbling into dust. He, crumbling into dust from a spell by Morgar, in the spell duel, he was able to imprison Morgar into a gem. The other thing is that when he imprisoned Morgar, when I wasn't alive, I haven't seen this was 1,000 years ago. When he imprisoned Morgar into this gem, and when he battled Morgar, and even once before when he battled the Dark Angels, these two major battles he won for our people and our nation. Both of the times he transformed into something amazingly powerful. His body emanated such energy, such magical. He was infused by such powerful magic, probably a blessing of the Wondermaker, that he transformed into something higher, and he helped destroy the Dark Celestials and their invading Sahuagin armies, led by these transformative devas. And also, when he destroyed and he battled Morgar, he used this ability. So I assume the ascension mentioned in this share relic has some kind of relation to this. But I must say that I'm not well versed in the ways of the arcane nor the divine. I'm a warrior. I was raised to give my blood and, my strength for my people.
Perhaps it is this knowledge that Morgar seeks.
I mean, that would make sense, talking about my ascension and all that.
The arcane has an obsession with knowledge and less ethical application and more about the pursuit of power, from what I know.
I agree. Dangerous folk, Oldham.
Something OC, Rex has actually heard a raspy elf voice when we were in Kiraku.
Oh.
At the mouth of the cave.
Which said, please read up.
I don't think we understood.
Oh yeah. It said some lines in Deep Sea Elvish.
But it was Deep Sea Elvish, it was raspy, and it was before the orb.
Before you entered the cave.
Before we entered the cave entrance.
I guess the question is, would that pop up as something like to remember? Because if he didn't recognize that it was Deep Sea Elf, then he would have just assumed it was the orb trying to communicate with him.
Yeah, you're not sure. Let's leave it like at that.
So maybe what we do is we juice this Arvin fill up, get him up, and he can go fight Morgar and all that. And then maybe not. Maybe not.
We are to give our blood and lives for, to achieve what you're talking about.
Well, you can give your blood and lives.
And in return, we will help the Centurosians if you wish to help them against the city.
Just looking at Mayra and Co and Lars.
I have a few questions too, because honestly, as we talk more and more, I think many of our things align, which is great. A concern for me is what your forces fully are, and what time frame are you on? This has seemed to be a battle of the ages, and we still know so little. I mean, our one encounter with him was epic for sure. We skated away with our lives. I'm looking forward to repaying the favor and finishing it, but this is not something we do tomorrow, correct?
No, this is something we must prepare for. This is something we must be very, very subtle about. First of all, no word of this should reach Morgar ever.
Agreed.
In your dreams.
We're not going to tell him.
He can enter your dreams even. This creature is not just an immense monster, it's also an archmage of necromancy. A powerful wizard. One of the most powerful wizards of the Kalhasi. Now, we have formulated the plan, as I told you, which includes lots of details, and if they all go well, then we might be able to reconquer Arvenshire, the city of Arvenshire. But we must discuss this in detail first, and time, unfortunately, is running. We are running out of time every day. We have already run out of time. Our kin is slaughtered every day, but Morgar keeps them alive only to fuel his own practices. So years have passed, 100 years now, since his return.
Can we talk about this? If we go to this place and your kin are trying to kill us, what's allowed? Do we fight them, or do we try to get away? We don't want to hurt you because we know this isn't your fault. And what if they die? I mean, soldiers die in battle.
Our kin will never, ever attack you. We have a plan to bring them together, and if they see formidable advance in our opposition against Morgar, meaning that we can break down some of his defenses in the city, then I am sure they can be infuriated and encouraged enough to rise up as one and fight in unity. Them and even the merfolks who live in the city.
So your kin's not being mind controlled. Oh, that's it, right? So they're not being mind controlled.
No, they are being raised as undead.
Well,
yeah, that's what's happening.
I think if I understand, Rax is asking, what is the approach to the undead? To give them rest, I would assume.
We must destroy all of the undead. These unholy abominations must be destroyed. Their bodies are used as vessels of the vile Morgar.
Right.
Their souls have already departed to Kylie.
Oh.
The Wondermaker, whoever they believed in. Now these are only shells of their former, existence. They must be
Thank you,
destroyed.
Mayra.
I will.
That does answer my question.
I will prepare a map for you of the city of Arvish, and I will show you, or I will involve you in our plans as soon as you are ready to see
What
them.
kind of forces are we up against?
I am turning you in a moment.
Yeah.
Well, and
Okay,
and that is
as you know.
and that is the
Time
follow up to
first.
Ko's of how big is the deep sea elves. We see this group here, but is this it?
Right.
He said there were a couple of. They only got a couple dozen.
These. Okay, so okay. So, give me a second. I will need Tommy's help.
What do you need?
I will get the city of Arvenshi map.
So to clarify, though, but you believe first that we should visit this tomb
Yes.
That's what it sounds.
There is
and discover the
is-
secrets there.
There is a certain disturbance, and I think it might be Arvenshi's veiling here. I hope that we can help our former legendary hero in some way, but most importantly, if whatever is in there or whatever is happening, we can learn the other side, the text on the other side of this relic, which is something that obviously, as we agreed, Morgor is seeking.
Right. So if I can make a suggestion, then
Please.
I think our first decision in aiding is simply whether or not we will travel to this tomb and discover what is there. And that information may very well change the nature of your plans. So perhaps if we could have a moment, unless everyone has made up their mind, we being myself and my companions, to discuss whether or not we're in agreement to travel to this tomb or not.
Okay. I understand. They stand up. He stands up, and he says, "Well, we will leave you to discuss this matter, and we will be available whenever you made your decision. I trust your wisdom." And he bows, and they all walk out. Kigamon folk as well, and all the knights, and they go out, and they leave you within this strange, damp, sea cap smelling. Oops.
Uh-oh.
She also went with the knights.
Well, while Mayra's gone,
Now that Mayor is gone, the party can begin.
Another round. Well, I'm still available.
and I appreciated the catching grapes across the table.
Since we have him, we'll wait for Rax.
What?
An extra trick. You just see a grape float up and then get tossed.
What was that?
I have this power. I've messed with you a whole lot with it.
Well, hold on, but explain to me what you mean by power. What is that?
I have all
A bit
sorts
of
of
wizardry,
power.
or is that all turtles do this?
No, not all turtles. For sure, not all turtles.
So why you?
Why not?
Well, that's the best answer I've ever heard. Why not?
Great. I'll
You can
try
just do that. You can just lift things.
a little bit, nothing too heavy.
What about me? Hey?
No, definitely not you, but I can mess with you a little bit, and then he just wiggles your earlobe a little bit.
They are very easily,
Super
they get very
ticklish.
easily distracted from the
Right. Mayra
serious
raises her
conversation.
head from where she's been praying and communing with her goddess to make
That's
sure that
awful.
she has reached into understand the purpose that she has before us and which path to pursue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go down on the serious, and we need the humor break.
And so coming back,
Mm.
I know I feel my path before me. And
What's your path?
Morgar is a blight upon the seas.
Here.
And the sheer vile abominations that he is stealing souls and raising the honored dead. That has to take whatever I can do to help in ending that. That is an evil. That is a level of oppression and torture that must be addressed if it can be. So visiting the tomb and helping to progress that. I feel that that's my path.
Why would you assume your path is not our path?
I'm not assuming. I'm simply making a statement.
Of course, you have always let us all speak, but it is easy and delightful to follow you on your path. I think it's our path as well. My concern is less about the right and lefts of it, but time frames and where to go first and second. But to follow you is a great privilege and honor, Mayra. I wouldn't slow down now.
Even into death, if need be.
Well, fine. Right.
And we'd best prepare well if we face Morgar.
What is your concern, Rax? She can bring back the dead.
That's true. Listen, it's not dying. It's simply the act of dying, right? I'm not keen to it, but that's why we prepare. That's why we do brave things. Listen, Mayra, Co and Lars, my path is inextricably linked with yours for moral reasons and all that. Let's stop this guy, and then when we were done, let's go find my good buddy Lars's grandmama.
I like it. And this is about networking and profit too. There will be much to be made. This is not just one moral path. It is many things that will provide many things if we follow it.
That is also true.
There's a lot of good people in the world trying to live their lives.
Yeah.
If we don't stop this, then that evil spreads to them. And it continues to spread till it consumes everything that's good. And I'm not going to stand in the way of stopping something like that. I want to be involved in putting it into its grave. I want to be involved in doing some good, some real good. And I want to do this. So I'm completely on board. I just want to make sure that we also get what info we can about his grandmama, because that's cool and should be addressed.
That is most important.
I have to follow up, Arax, just because I find it interesting, and I don't know how Mayra's blessing works in with this, but if you're afraid of death, why don't we kill you a couple times and have her bring you back till you're no longer afraid?
I'd like to see you try.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah. No, we'll get into that later. No, I'm not afraid of death. Obviously, I've faced death many times as part of what I do. I'm just not keen on the idea of dying. But I feel like I'm with a good group, and we can avoid that at all costs.
And Mayra, with that, I don't mean disrespect, but I mean the laughter and pleasure that it is to enjoy and to fight the battle truly and honestly with you and with those blessings.
Also consider that helping Arvanshi helps Santaros, helps our hordes.
And maybe that's the other problem I have, is that while I like this, and this seems much more of a direct course, this takes us away from our first mission a bit, even though it's getting the greater mission done. Is that a concern we have, or are we just hoorah for this?
No. I do not have a concern. My main purpose in traveling to Xantharos is because of the threat of the Sorgan.
Okay.
And Morgar is a larger threat.
Priorities shift.
We can gain allies against the Sorgan, is what I mean.
Correct.
Absolutely. That will come as well. One does not preclude the other.
Excellent. I'm glad to be reassured of that. Yeah, I like it. And just to put it out there one more time, I know this is not your concern, Mayra, too much, but if we had a name, a group name, it would be easier to introduce ourselves in scenarios like this. And I have to pitch that Kylie's embrace seems more of a heartbeat to me. The way you follow her and that we follow you just seems natural. And I feel safe in that. But I understand, and I know our ways are a little bit different, but I cannot miss this opportunity to not bring it up again.
I'm gonna let y'all talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go find the little sea elves room.
Okay. Lars, we've talked a bunch. Do you have any concerns, thoughts, additions on top?
This plan must be meticulous.
Well
Because the
said.
challenge is so overwhelming, or seems so overwhelming.
Right. And when you are looking to defeat a challenge, you take it one step at a time. So, if there is... I trust that the sea elves know their enemy.
I trust as well.
They have spent many years knowing. So if they feel that the next path is this tomb and whatever answers may lie there, then that's the right step.
This seems a benefit to everything.
I'm sorry. I would just like to add that don't forget that he mentioned that he has spies within the city.
Yeah.
Perhaps they know Morgar's weaknesses, if it has any.
Right.
Well, they seem pretty confident about some sort of plan they already formulated over the past 100 years, you know?
Right. Yeah. I think at this point, Mayra's just very focused on the tomb because they said that's the next thing we need to do. So she's like, great, we're going to get the tomb. You guys have the plan. You have, if we need to do further scouting into the city or, that'll be next. So we all know Mayra can be a little bit, but this is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
This is the next.
I
love it
for
that
Rex to come back from the little sea owl's room.
I love it that there may be a fight one day of such course of actions.
Okay, well, maybe it takes longer, and maybe he had to swim out and do his stuff outside. What happens next is...
I just heard a door. He's on his way back.
Okay. So what happens next is you probably go out, and while Rex went out, he tells them that, well, you guys are ready to discuss everything. So they join Rex back, and they come back to the room.
Right, what do we decide?
We will travel to the tomb.
So Dorian Theobalanta walks back. Some of his knights, Aishli and Kigamon follow, and stands in front of you and says, "You have made a decision, and I am delighted that this decision has been made so quickly. It either means a quick no or a very heartfelt and deeply rooted yes. So please tell me which one it is."
Yes, we will travel to the tomb.
Right. I do have a question about traveling to the tomb. Are you going to give us a lift on one of them horses, or do we need to swim there?
We will need to swim there.
How far is it?
It's pretty close.
You should go. It's pretty close. So can you tell pretty close?
10 miles.
10 miles. All right. So we will swim there, and I will be taking you there alone. Is
With
this?
with
Does this mean that you have not decided on the fate of the city of Arvenshi and Norway yet?
No, I think that will come next, but our next action is to travel to this tomb so we can discuss
Okay.
plans and next steps once we have
I respect
shared what
your
information.
caution. And if you are ready, and you are so ready, you're so full, so you're so invigorated, you are making your wisdom saves with advantage, and you have 2d10 extra temporary hit points, and you have immunity to poison and being frightened. So you all feel like, what could go wrong? And let's go. And then he says, well, let's go now until
some logistics, because we do have a couple things going on. Mayra, the anchor that you have with our ship is that everlasting or till we pull it up?
24 hours.
24 hours. Because we don't want to lose the ship. It is an asset to whomever, and we would see it used for good. If we're going on a scout, can you all watch the ship? And if we don't return, use it for the good.
Turning to the first trident, yes, Ko makes a good point. Can we implore a couple of you to just keep an eye on the ship?
We will take care of the ship.
And then probably a DM question and an us question. Would we have taken the mini fortress with us, or is it in the bag of holding you have?
It's in the bag.
Okay, excellent. That relieves John and Ko's mind a little bit. Excellent. That's all I had on logistics, because we would hate to see such a beautiful ship not used to fight back evil.
Oh, and there's a couple of slaves on there.
Yeah.
We don't really care whether they get fed, let's be honest.
Be fed.
Oh
Okay,
yes.
so we will take care
yeah.
of them.
That's a good thing to bring up. We should tell them what's in the hold.
Oh yeah. Do we need to take care of that before we go?
No.
We should tell them, right?
Yeah, of course.
So they don't think that like they belong to us or anything.
Since we're having this discussion almost in front of them,
Yeah.
we tell them
Quietly, loudly.
as we tell them, like, are you concerned that you won't be able to handle it? Is Ko's like first big question. Because Ko's mind is like two or three of their knights go up there, they get controlled by the spell slaves, and then it all goes bad.
Did we mention the spell slaves? looking at the first trident.
No, you have not.
Oh,
Well, there's a couple of them on the boat, but we found them like that. They came with the boat.
Nice.
There,
Well, you
there are
explained.
prisoners right now.
Right.
You explain the situation, and he says, "Well, I think they will manage for a couple more hours on their own. So we will not open their doors. It's about 1.5 hours, depending on your swim speed, to the tomb of Arvenshi. I think we will just leave them where they are, and we will take care of them later. So if as you say, you provided them with food and drink, water, they will be okay for the next couple of hours.
Yeah,
We
but
don't
be
want to
careful with
interfere.
them. They serve Obolath masters,
The what?
They do, and it's sneaky.
who are actually nearby.
Yeah.
In the Silent Pearls.
Mm-hmm.
The syndicate of the Mind Masters.
That's right.
We know of those Abolats. Would we ever encounter them in their hidden lair, we would probably make short of them, as you say. But for now, let's worry about things at hand.
okay.
Let's go. I'll take you to the tomb. Please, come with me. So you all go out into the into the stables. He mounts his beautiful giant seahorse. One of the knights hands him his riding trident, and he holds it, and he moves very agilely. He moves the giant seahorse mount through the doors, the gates that open up, and you swim after him. It is over an hour. What's your swim speeds? Like 30? Is anybody
40.
at 30?
35.
Yeah. So it's about a bit more than an hour. He, of course, does a slow. He slows his giant seahorse, which can go faster than that. They all wait up for Rax, and you all swim over the seabed, maybe over some deeper areas, not exactly over the seabed, but way above. But eventually, after some time...
Does he sing a song as he rides?
No, not yet, Tommy, not yet.
Oh,
That song must be sang later.
come back to next episode.
There's gonna be a song. I'm not gonna sing it.
You can do it.
No,
Send it to Joe. He'll put it.
We
to
all sound better when we sing together.
Oh, I absolutely forgot. Joe, I need to DM you after this session. So I will fix this up for you in a moment because it's all pitch black. But very, very soon you are going to see a shape.
A mysterious shape. Out of the darkness, emerging.
Help me with the interlude. One sec.
That's not like the beginning of like an old like horror story. Like there came a shape.
Ooh, no, but that is a good 2-sentence horror game.
Isn't that a great? That's a great 2-sentence horror story. There came a shape.
And it came fast, or I don't know, something. Terrible game. In the grim dark of the future.
There is only war.
Okay, this is it.
It is the 41st millennium.
You see what I
Wow, what is that? It's the
see? It's a sea
Oh, I see what y'all are talking about now about the shape.
Yeah, one sec, I'll fix it up.
Wait a minute.
I
That
promise.
looks like
More professionally.
an ocarina, maybe.
One sec. I should probably play this beforehand.
Whoa,
Boom. This is the...
very nice.
You will see what I have to show you.
You
Now,
can show us a whole world.
so I hope our viewers also see it. Yeah, they do. So let me read this. Okay, so Tommy, can you please help me by placing the... Thank you.
The what? What?
The tokens and sizing them.
Polishing up my beat of comprehend languages here.
Yeah. You will need it here. So, this is... The shell is about 100 feet long and lies half embedded in the seabed 1,000 feet beneath the surface. Later, I will place it on the map as well. Don't worry about that. There is a 30-foot wide gate of the shell, which is sealed tight. It is formed from string shell that has been seamlessly melded together by magic. It is engraved with pictures of underwater creatures that organically blend with the rest of the shell. So
An alabaster murex shell. Yeah. It's a giant,
It's a
giant seashell,
seashell.
This is very nice.
100 feet across.
Inspiration for a home once you retire, Rax?
No. I want something above the water and all that. Huge. With just me alone in it.
That's a lot of dusting.
Right. That's why I'm not going to dust.
So actually,
No
this
windows.
is
Let the air do it.
This is the gate. So it's pretty big, and during the Ballantal, as you move closer, you can see a gigantic red shape in front of it. And during the Ballantal, signs, you're on the water and underwater and all that, and the signs to stop. You see this gigantic creature floating in front of it. I'm going to.
Sure.
I'm so unprepared. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Especially because it hides, I guess.
Oh, it doesn't hide any longer. I just need to show the image. Oh, because I need a scroller.
Good, it's confident. Yay!
Oh, it's very confident. Where is it?
That's always nice to see.
Yeah.
Underwater camouflage trades, right?
Right? What I just put. I'm sorry. I don't know what struck me. Maybe it was Easter. I need to prepare the image 1 sec. So okay. Well, now that I have. Really, 1 sec. I told you it's there, so it should be there already. Oh, I'm so alone with these classes. Okay, so you can see a giant red skull, basically, devouring a shark as you get close. I will show you the image right now. Now I'm done. Now I'm ready. It's big. It's actually very, very big.
Oh my.
So everybody can roll a knowledge nature check.
That's great.
What?
Oh, yeah. With a 3, I'm just awestruck.
It's a nature check. What's your rolls?
12.
Anybody higher?
What?
And 8.
Tony, can you handle the knight, please? Nobody high enough.
Yes.
So this looks like a jellyfish sort of thing, but its size is huge, and it looks like a red skull. Within its tentacles, there is the rotten, now dissolving remains of a shark. And Dorian Theobalantar just looks at you.
No one
nods.
doesn't know what it is.
He nods and lowers his lance, and you can see he's ready to charge.
Okay. Draw my trident and my shield. And
It is about, let's say, 200 feet. No, you see, are you using the drift globe and all that?
That's what I was going to say. What are our light sources right now?
So
yeah, if we need a light source, then yeah, we would have just had the
So
globe
I
out.
assume, just for the sake of simplicity, you swim on it, 120 feet dim light, 60 feet normal light. In the dim light, you see its shape. It just turns at you, lets the shark go, and Dorantil Ballantal just charges, and you do the same, I suppose. So please roll initiatives. I will roll for this guy.
Why not?
Where's your chance of adventure? That's a 20 on initiative.
I don't have the tokens. So 6 for me and
10 for me.
17.
12 for Dorantil.
You can please add these to me.
I need to have the tokens first.
I rolled 2. That's not much. You need the tokens first?
Yeah, to add to the initiative.
Oh yeah, the tokens. All right.
So what was the jelly?
Mera. That's 2.
2. Mera. What was Mera?
20.
20. Rax.
A 17.
17. Cool.
10.
Put in size.
For cool.
Size. Oh, what a small baby. No, let's forget
6.
that for now.
And Dorantil,
12, you said.
can you add the token? Oh, is that 12? Okay. Dorantil Balendal, 12.
It's very large. This is actually a bit bigger than huge. Okay, so we're not going by the actual scale of the tiles on the map, but relatively. So I'm just putting everybody there so you can move yourselves around. Obviously, there's distance.
And we're 120 away?
Yeah, and there's dim light, so who's first?
Mera.
Okay. So if we're 120 feet away, we're out. Mera is out of range of anything. So we're gonna put. Let's see. Do I have anything that will reach at that point? No, I have absolutely nothing.
I think maybe we should continue this next session.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan.
Please tell me what you think of everything happening so far. Where did they go? They've been away for long? John. Joe. What's happening? Joe is still gone.
Oh, Joe's still gone? What?
April, I think Joe will be back soon, I guess.
No, he's here.
He's here? Why don't I see him?
Wait.
Why can't anybody see me?
Oh, because... Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, mate. Gotcha. So, what I was saying, just because of the time constraint we have here, I think we should continue with this and the whole Tomb of Arvenshee situation next session. I would like to ask your takeaways and what you think of this, what this session, what happened in this session. Who's the bravest?
I'll go first. I really loved the discussion and the opportunities to reintroduce ourselves to a group, because it's interesting to see like how are people going to do that, what are they going to say, and then I love the story that is built around Arvenshee. I absolutely love that, and I think the whole lich aspect is pretty wild. I think there's a huge sense of danger, and it's very cool. I like the groups shifting priorities. You know, that it's been this, and then the more of this that gets introduced, it's like, okay, now we've definitely got to do this. It's an interesting. For me as a player, it is it's an interesting moment for Rax because he has an opportunity to genuinely do something good, which is not something that he has seen anything that he's done really be before. And so this is a really interesting moment for him. I have a question for y'all at the end too, so I'm gonna wait till we go around. But I have a question for you, Gabi.
I guess I'll go next. The we've talked about it several times. The martialness of our squad is just fun, and following our paddle. Can't say the word. Following Mayra is just going to be a delight as a player and as a character. I think it's just going to be she's going to make a moral decision. It's hard to disagree. Almost like from the mechanics of the game to the narrative that is developing, which is fun. When they both collide, and just us all kind of playing with it from different perspectives is great. I like it.
She's the conscience of the group.
Now I'm hoping to convince her to name the group.
The name of the group is Her Conscience. We are Her Conscience.
Yeah.
So how does it feel, April?
Right. The moral compass.
The more
Shove it more your way.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I liked the introduction of the Arvanshi Knights and everything that they've kind of brought to the table with hey, we have this thing and you have the opportunity to go take care of this thing, and this is let's do it. So I'm really just kind of enjoying that whole thing. And I will say, I was starting to get ready for my next action, so I have questions there.
Hold that for a week. We start with action next week.
Yeah, strong start.
Stay tuned. It's gonna be dramatic. Okay, what was the question, Joe?
Okay, so I have two questions actually. Number one, for Tommy, as a player, how are you enjoying this, playing through something that you helped craft and create?
Extremely enjoying it, and I was actually just thinking about that the story obviously took a totally different route than it's written. So with the raising of the deep sea and the whole deep sea arc coming into the story so early,
and so drastically. I mean, you meet and let's do it, because you're all dedicated to this, and especially Mira.
It's organic, of course. So it totally organically flows, so that's not a problem at all. Since it's a sandboxy, multiple arc story, it doesn't really matter when it's introduced or how it's introduced. So that's fine. And it's super fun to see different outcomes, and I think we talked about it earlier, that being such a martial group with zero arcana knowledge, which is a heavy theme of the adventure, obviously, because Arvanshi's an archmage and of the Wonder Maker, so the god of magic is involved, obviously. It's fun that the lack of information is also, I think, a fun motivator, to find out more, or have it just in the background as like a tapestry for militant characters. And also, it was fun today that it came out that the Knights of Arvanshi are also a kind of militant group, so they don't know anything about all this magic stuff.
No one knows about it.
Nice.
We don't need that. We can stab him with a sword.
Yeah. Can I add something to it?
Sure. Yeah.
So what I enjoy a lot about this is that writing a story isn't necessarily living through the story. So you are creating something that is absolutely unique for us. So for Tommy, for me, it's just and it's with every group that would ever play it. Also listening to the stories on Discord, they go, what? And everything took this strange turn of events. On the other hand, also I wanted to add that whenever during the time when we always, as we write our adventures, we always have this phenomenon. Maybe I mentioned this before, that we are always asking ourselves, what would 4 dwarven barbarians do, and how would they sort this out? You know, and you guys are pretty close to that.
Kind of.
So you are 4 dwarven barbarians, except for
What
Mara,
a great question.
who can dispel magic and revive the dead and all that, but still, you know, very martial and of course, imagine this is a 16th level adventure. If you would all be wizards and if there was just one bard or wizard or whoever who could do, you know, legend lore, cast legend lore, you would know about everything. I would have, you know, info, you know, all of that. Okay, I divine this, I legend lore that, you know, and that would be totally different. Now you guys are like floating within this, you know, sea of information, and it will make sense. It's written so that, and you will find your way. But still, you know, you don't know a lot of things beforehand, and this is very entertaining. I think the 4 dwarven barbarian route is more entertaining than the all knowledgeable sages of, you know, whatever that group would be called. Yeah. What was the other question you had?
That was actually going to be my question: is how do you feel that it's going?
Oh, it's nice. It's wonderful. Yeah. I can only repeat myself. This is, you know, taking turns of even, you know, it's taking shape in a way unexpected, and we knew when we started this it's going to be like that for all of us, and for us it's very entertaining. So again, writing a story, telling a story, and living through a story is all very, very different. The story we wrote is just a shell. You fill it up with you know, with adventure and content, and yeah, we just give you the balls to hit, and it's really bouncing really well. I think there's gonna be a lot of fun coming up, dear viewers, so be prepared for more.
Backup characters ready. No,
All magic next time. All magic next time, right?
We're all making wizards next.
Lore master.
Dwarven wizards.
Yeah, so I would like to thank everyone for watching. We will have much fun next time as well. Thanks to John and April and Joe from Twice the Dice for being with us. Please visit Joe's and April's channel where they play Crown of the Oathbreaker. Please check out elderbrain.com if you're interested in Torrents of the Spellhoarder and Crown of the Oathbreaker maybe, and catch us on Discord where there's lots of fan content, lots of crazy lot of discussion going on, and you can find assistance in all aspects of our products and adventures and even life. Please also like and subscribe to keep track of our future sessions. Please comment if you have anything to add. We'll be next week. Thank you so much for being here.
See you guys.
Bye.